Good morning, sunshines, and welcome back to Empowered Running. I wanted to take a moment this morning and discuss headlamps with you. I know it's a heavy subject, but we'll try to keep it light. First of all, on the topic of headlamps, I'm sure most runners have used them either in the early mornings, late evenings, out on the trails. We take them camping with us. They're in our vehicles, they're in our packs, they're everywhere. So we use them quite a bit, but headlamps are not just for seeing. One of the other critical elements of the headlamp is to be seen. So some things to think about when considering your headlamp is safety. Of course, you need the ability to see. You need the ability to see what's in front of you, whether you're running on city streets and you have potholes or you have roots that are growing through sidewalks and causing them to buckle. You need the ability, if you're on the trails, to see roots, rocks, those types of things. The other reason, of course, for headlamps is for visibility, so that oncoming vehicles can see you as well. And that's especially important when you're running those dark hours and if you're wearing dark clothing. So the headlamps are important for that. They're also important in a safety format for situational awareness, illuminating the sides of the trails and the roads and what is around you. So a few things that you want to consider in your headlamp is the brightness of the headlamp, the battery type, whether it's batteries that you're going to have to be replacing or if they're rechargeable and therefore you're going to have to be charging it, and the weight and the comfort of the headlamp for yourself, as well as different features that your headlamp might have. So all of those things are going to make up some individual taste. So I want to talk about some of the headlamps that I've got. I was doing a little picking up this weekend and I've got a bunch of headlamps. Like I said, you got them in your pack, you got them in your car, you've got them hanging around the house, or at least I do. But I've got 3 with me here that I wanted to discuss and go over some of the different features. Now, this first one I ran with for a lot of years. I got it from Walmart, and at the time that I got this one, I got it because it was the one that had the most lumens. Some things that I like about this is it's got some adjustable settings, so it gets 3 levels of brightness. It's also got a beacon, 3 flashes of anything indicates SOS, great for signaling. Some things that I didn't care for as much about this headlamp is that it's, as you can tell by looking, it's pretty heavy. And another thing I don't really care for on this one is the way the battery structure works. So this screws off and then you've got a battery pack with 3 AAAs. And I'll discuss more about why I don't care for that as much in a moment. But as far as being able to signal, I do like this because of the ability to flash, which gets somebody's attention. I wouldn't recommend running with it that way. Now, this headlamp I was given as a gift, and some things I like about this compared to the other one, as you can tell just by looking, is that it is lighter. This also has multiple brightnesses, so that is a benefit. It does not have the strobe feature and it only has white light. Another benefit to this one relative to the one I was just showing you, whoops, it's difficult to get to, but the battery alignment makes a little more sense. And I will tell you why, to me, that's important when we go through something else. Then the third one I have is this one here. This one is very lightweight, very comfortable, and some things I like about this headlamp is that it's got multiple brightnesses. Again, this has got a very bright LED on it, and it's also got different colors. So I've got a green and I've got a red, and the green actually comes in two brightnesses, a light green and a bright green, and then the red. Green and red, I find that the green I use when I'm running in town a lot because it's not super bright. It's not going to blind an oncoming car, all right? But it is also going to get their attention because green is out of the normal. They don't think it's a motorcycle, they don't think it's a bicycle. They're looking to see what that is. So generally when I'm in town, I run with the green. When I'm camping, I like to use the red. And the reason I like to use the red in camp is so that if I'm doing something, but I'm turning my head, I'm talking to people, I'm not blinding them. If I'm in camp and I have the brightest light on and this is shining in your face while I'm talking to you, that's going to be very distracting to you. Now, this has a rechargeable battery, so you do need to make sure that it is charged, and the charger goes in right there. And another factor that's unique to this one, I don't know how many times we've had an experience or anybody has had an experience where you've got this in your pack. On my backpack, I've got on the strap, I've got a sleeve and I keep it there. So if I'm out in the evening and it starts to get dark and I pull it out, I've got it right there, convenient, where I can always get to it. But sometimes in the pack, what happens, we accidentally turn the light on, and then when you go to use it, it's dead. One feature that I like on this, if I hold the two buttons for the different colors down at the same time for 5 seconds, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, turns red, and then I put it in the pack and it can't accidentally come on. And then when I need it, just hold it down to the count of 5 again. The red light comes on and I can use my flashlight again. Now, with this one that was lighter, a hack if you're carrying these in your pack is that when you put it in the pack, open the back up. I'm used to trying to do this on camera. And what you can do with these is you simply take the middle battery out. If you remember which one it is, so always do the same one and flip it around. Then of course, no work. But then when you need it, all you have to do is flip that middle one back around and it's going to work again. So that's a hack if you're carrying batteries that have to be replaced. Of course, whether you're carrying batteries that have to be replaced when you're out on the trail, not necessarily in town, but when you're out on the trail, if you're carrying batteries that have to be replaced, you should carry some extras with you. And if you are using a rechargeable one, you should carry a charging pack with you. And you should carry a charging pack with you. It doesn't have to be anything fancy, something with a solar voltaic panel there so that you can charge it during the day, make sure it's fully charged before you leave. But if you are carrying rechargeable, you should have a way to recharge it. Now this one, again, I did like the emergency function of the strobe, but I don't like this battery pack because if I accidentally turn this on in my pack, it's going to kill it. And it's not an easy way to pick out which one's in the middle. Not a problem if I'm in daylight setting it up to not drain. The problem is if I go to get this out at night and it's dark and I can't tell which battery is upside down because it's in a circle. So I really don't love that about this particular light. But let me put it back together. that switching the batteries is a good hack, or finding a battery or finding a lamp with a safety feature so that you don't inadvertently drain it. That's also a good hack. As far as which headlamp is the best, that is the headlamp that you prefer, the one that you have, and the one that is there when it gets dark. That's going to be the best one for you. So experiment with them, find the ones that are comfortable for you. Another closing tip that I would say about headlamps is if you get them with multiple settings to conserve the battery length, run on the setting that is the lowest that you can function with rather than having it blaring all the time, because obviously the brighter it is, the more energy it's going to draw. Even with the LEDs and being more energy efficient, the more energy you draw, the less life your battery is going to have. So run with your headlamp on the setting that's lowest for you to still be safe. And then that's what I've got for headlamps. So until next time, guys, stay safe, stay lit, and run empowered.